Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is official. Districts 1 and District 7 have new city council women.
District 1 incumbent Mario Bravo lost a seat to challenger Suk Kaur, and District 7's Marina Alta-Gavito is walking away with the win in their district father previously served in.
That's right. So our Lee Waldman spent time with both newly elected women.
Suk Kaur had a substantial lead with the early voting numbers, and less than an hour after the polls closed, Bravo called to concede. Both Kaur and Alderete-Gavito are eager to get the work started in their districts.
I want people to know that the person they elected is who they're going to get.
I was so proud to earn the trust and support of over 7,000 voters last time, and so we just needed to pull them back out again.
Now that the runoff election is done, the real work begins for District 1 and District 7 councilwomen Suk Kaur and Marina Alderete-Gavito.
There are so many places in District 1 right now where it's a mess, and I've heard that loudly and clearly. So one of my first hires is going to be solely directed just to addressing infrastructure.
We're going to be focusing on accountability and transparency. We really want a city government that works for them, for the residents. We want to know the status of projects going on in our community. We want infrastructure updates on our streets and drainage.
For Kaur, she says she'll work on forming strong relationships with other districts to get projects completed.
I will first and foremost do that. I will also make sure I'm building trust.
Alderete-Gavito is following in her father's footsteps, taking over District 7.
My parents instilled in us the importance of community service.
Bravo sent over a statement after Saturday's loss that read in part, quote, "I called Councilwoman-elect Dr. Suk Kaur to offer my congratulations and let her know that I stand ready to assist her in this transition and any way she may call on me going forward," unquote. Lee Waldman for GMSA.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Taking a live look out of the Alamo City. 77 degrees out there now. Did you make it outside at all yesterday?
I did not.
Avoided the heat, beat
Avoided
the heat.
Stayed inside.
Movies?
Went to the movies.
All right. Sarah, Spivey, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think, but also, you know, a lot of people are going to want to try to enjoy some time outdoors today. I mean, we know what it's like this time of year to get that kind of heat and humidity, but it does take our bodies a little while to adjust for the first heat wave of the season, and that's what we're in the middle of right now. If you want to get some yard work done, I would suggest doing it in the next couple hours because it's going to quickly get hot. We do have some clouds out there right now. It's 78 degrees at the airport, 77 at Stinson, and 77 GMSA Randolph. It's 76 degrees. Too. So a little bit of clouds this morning, but those clouds are going to quickly give way to sunshine. Here's your poolside forecast. A lot of people going to be trying to enjoy the day by the pool. By noon, we'll be at 90 degrees, 99 for the forecast high. So we may not technically get to 100 today, but it's still going to feel anywhere from 102 to 107. And that UV index is going to be extreme, up from yesterday. Skin damage time within 10 minutes. So yeah, please take care of yourselves today. We've got a heat advisory for some areas in KSAT 12 viewing area. I've got a look at where the heat index will be most intense today and how long this heat wave will last coming up. Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. This morning, police are still searching for a shooter after bullets started flying at a Northwest Side strip mall. San Antonio police say two men got into an argument yesterday at the Exchange Plaza Shopping Center. That's on Northwest Loop 410 near Warsbach Road. Witnesses told police shots were fired and the suspect took off in a black and white motorcycle. The victim was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the chest and the leg. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. So far, police have not arrested anyone in this case.
And another story to tell you about: police releasing new video hoping it'll spark new tips in a murder investigation. You can see the victim, 35-year-old Eloy Hernandez, in that red shirt, arguing with another man right in the middle of the street. This happened Wednesday on West Laurel Street. Police say the other person was armed with a small handgun, shot Hernandez one time, taken to the hospital. That's where he later died. Anyone who has any information on the suspect or their whereabouts, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 210-224-STOP. You do not need to give your name.
Former President Donald Trump making his first public appearance yesterday since a 37-count federal indictment against him was unsealed.
That's right. So the indictment accuses the former president of putting the nation's security at risk, leaving highly classified documents in unsecured areas like a bathroom in his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida.
ABC's Allison Cossack reports he maintains his innocence and is committed to continuing his campaign.
Donald Trump greeted by supporters in North Carolina, his second stop on the campaign trail Saturday, a day after the 49-page indictment against him was unsealed. Speaking at the North Carolina GOP state convention, telling the crowd he is pushing forward.
I will never be deterred.
The former president ordered to appear in federal court in Miami Tuesday to answer to 37 federal charges. The indictment from special counsel Jack Smith alleging Trump knew he was breaking the law and tried to cover it up by refusing to return classified documents containing sensitive information about the nuclear weaponry of the United States and the potential vulnerabilities of the country and its allies to military attack.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States.
Sensitive documents, the indictment says Trump was not authorized to possess, were allegedly found in boxes stacked in a Mar-a-Lago ballroom, a bedroom, and a bathroom. The former president is also accused of showing some of these documents to unauthorized people at least twice. Trump maintaining his innocence, speaking earlier Saturday to supporters at a rally in Georgia.
We did absolutely nothing wrong. Take a look at the Presidential Records Act. We did it by the book. Perfect.
Also charged in the case, Trump's valet, Walt Nauta, who traveled with Trump Saturday, serving as his body man. The indictment alleges Trump directed Nauta to move classified documents. He has not commented on the charges against him. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
A man who was paralyzed after he was handcuffed and placed in police van without a seatbelt last summer has reached a $45 million settlement with the city of New Haven, Connecticut. A warning to some of our viewers, you might find this video hard to watch. So back in June of last year, he was arrested and police took him to the station in a van. The driver made a sudden stop. That's when he went flying head first into the back of the van. He is now paralyzed from the chest down. His attorneys say the settlement is the largest involving a police misconduct case in U.S. history. Just 2 days ago, 2 of the 5 police officers involved in the incident were fired. All 5 officers have pleaded not guilty to second-degree reckless endangerment and are awaiting trial.
All right, be careful before you open up that next text message. The Federal Trade Commission says scams sent through text, they're increasing and they're costing a lot of people a lot of money. An analysis from the FTC shows consumers have reported losing $330 million to text message scams just last year. That's more than double what the report was in 2021. The agency says the median loss reported by individual victims, $1,000. Fake bank security alerts turned out to be the most common scam reported to the agency. The FTC says you should never click on links or respond to those texts. And if you're unsure if the text is legitimate, contact the company using a phone number or a website that you know is real. You can also report spam messages to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And I know I get a bunch of these texts too, where it's like, you have an Amazon gift card, retrieve it here.
No.
Never
or
click
like,
on that.
Hey, I have a package for you at USPS, and you're like, nope, don't even open it.
I actually got that one 2 days ago. Yeah, not great.
Congratulations.
Never opened it. Didn't open it. Didn't get the package.
Good for you.
Time now, 6:08, 77 degrees.
It's summertime in South Texas, and the temperatures are starting to show that. But with the warmer weather comes added risk, the dangers of hot cars. How to avoid them, that's still ahead.
And a drug that aims to help people with Alzheimer's disease, it is closer and closer to full FDA approval. The hurdle it just passed and how it may be able to slow down the progression of the cognitive decline. Good morning and welcome back. All right, so yesterday it was super hot out. Did you make it outside?
No, I went to the movies.
Okay.
Oh, am I supposed to be in?
Hey, you want to come hang out?
Hi,
Sarah,
We made room for you.
Sarah Spivey, did you make it outdoors yesterday?
I did briefly to water my bougainvillea, and that was it.
Good for you.
I stayed inside. I got my treadmill inside.
Nice.
So that's
Good for
how I got
you.
that workout. But, you know, a lot of people are going to be enjoying some time outdoors by the pool, by bodies of water, all that kind of stuff. Grilling outside. It's Sunday after all. And we do have heat advisories in effect for some areas around South Central Texas. Now, this time of year, heat advisories, I kind of just, I mean, it's going to be hot everywhere. So although these areas that are highlighted in the orange do have the heat advisory from noon until 7. And the reason for that, I think, is because these are a bit more rural areas, a lot more soil moisture, so higher humidity. And you can see that areas like Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, Kennedy could potentially have heat index values higher than 110 today. Look at Laredo's potential heat index, up to 112 in Laredo. So these areas in a heat advisory, although all of us should be aware of the higher humidity too, because even in San Antonio, it's going to feel like it's up to 105 today. So regardless of where you live, it's going to be hot. We should take those heat precautions. Outside right now, though, we are looking at some cloud cover right now. It's 78 degrees at the airport. We've got a bit of a breeze too, south-southeast winds at 15 miles per hour. That's bringing in that rich Gulf of Mexico air. Dew points are high, even higher than they were yesterday to start the day. It's 73 in Boerne, 77 in Hondo, 80 already in Castroville, 78 in Divine, 73 in Gonzales, 75 in Uvalde, 77 in Hondo, and 76 in Kerrville. And again, that humidity absolutely at the top of the scale. This is about as high as humidity typically gets. Dew points in the mid 70s in many places. And so that's why we're going to have that high heat index value. So looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, mostly cloudy out there right now, but very quickly we're going to see mostly sunny to completely sunny skies. By 10, it'll be 82 degrees. By noon, 90 and mostly sunny. Yesterday, you'll remember we had that small 10% chance for an isolated or stray shower or storm. That is not the case today. We're going to get up to 99 degrees. And again, even though the thermometer may not technically reach 100, it's going to feel like it outside. So just take care of yourselves. Looking at highs today, we're going to go back a little bit so that way we can get a better view of the highs across the KSAT 12 viewing area. 104 in Del Rio. It'll be 104 in Carrizo Springs, 105 in Cotulla, 100 in Pleasanton. Hondo likely going to see its first 100-degree day today. Austin up to 100 degrees, but 95 in Boerne. This is when living in those higher elevations helps out just a little bit with the temperatures. There'll be 97 in Comfort, 95 in Bulverde, but again, right around 100 around San Antonio and 100 in Floresville, 100 in Nixon. All right, let's take a look at the weather setup. As we zoom out a little bit, you can see it's quiet across the state of Texas today. Out to the east, we've got a thunderstorm complex that's going to continue to bring rain for areas of the eastern United States. But meanwhile, here it is, that heat high, that big blue bully this time of year that just blocks out any chance for rain. It blocks out any chance for relief and just brings the heat. And you can see in the futurecast, as this high settles over Texas, all of the rain is going to be pushed to the north, going to be pushed to the west, and that heat is just going to build. Around an area of high pressure, we've got sinking air. That creates that higher temperature and prevents any kind of rain from developing. And this is going to stick with us for the foreseeable future, for the next 7 to 10 days. It is going to be hot. And take a look at these afternoon highs here. So I think we'll probably have our first technical 100-degree day in San Antonio at some point Tuesday or Wednesday, and then we'll be cranking up the heat even more. It'll be 103 by Friday. And again, the only kind of respite I could maybe think that we're going to be seeing is the humidity won't be as bad by Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week, but regardless, when it starts to get up to 100, 103, it is hot anyway. So coming up, I've got a look at Fido's forecast. When is the best time for you to walk your dogs today? And I'll have pictures of those pups as well. So stick around for that.
You hear that?
Is that iced coffee?
I made it official.
You made the switch?
It's iced coffee season.
It is.
No more hot coffee in the morning. It's too hot outside.
I drank hot coffee this morning.
Yeah, I burned my tongue already this morning. All right, time now, 6:16, 77 degrees.
Okay, the dangers of hot cars may be obvious. Still, the steamy summer months see a grisly trend each year, with dozens of children dying of heat stroke. How you can make sure your child is safe.
All right, let's take a look at those lotto numbers. Pick 3, 656, Fireball 7. Daily 4, 6464, Fireball 2.
Cash 5, 6, 12, 23, 29, 31. Texas Lotto 3, 12, 15, 17, 36, 37. Powerball had a jackpot over 200 million. 21, 32, 42, 46, 50. I'm here, Max. I didn't play, I didn't win. Powerball 4, Power Play 3. Good luck. state of New Mexico has reached a $500 million settlement with Walgreens over its role in the opioid epidemic. The state said Walgreens failed to red flag prescriptions that weren't needed for medical use, and it continued to fill red flag prescriptions. In addition to the $500 million from Walgreens, New Mexico previously settled with Albertsons, CVS, Kroger, and Walmart for a total of $274 million. The settlement money will be used to help fight the opioid addiction.
Well, treatment for Alzheimer's disease closer to reaching pharmacy shelves. An FDA advisory panel voting unanimously to affirm the Alzheimer's drug lecanemab, and it shows clinical benefits for treatment of Alzheimer's. So the move paves the way for the medication considered for full FDA approval. An FDA decision is expected by July 6th, so it's right around the corner. The medication, one of the first dementia drugs that appears to slow the progression of cognitive decline. Now, it's not a cure. Need to make that clear. It does work by binding to specific beta blockers, and it is a hallmark of the Alzheimer's disease. That is what this aims to block. There are potential side effects, things like brain swelling and bleeding, which can be life-threatening. So we are just starting this journey. Interesting to see what comes next.
All right. Well, as the weather gets warmer, a reminder that leaving a child in a car for any amount of time can be dangerous, even deadly.
It is a story we do every year. 40 children die every year in the United States from heat stroke, either because they were left in a car that became hot or because they were trapped.
CNN's Mandy Gaither has a look at how quickly temperatures in a car can rise.
It happens every year. As the sun beats down, the danger inside cars heats up.
If it's even for a minute, take your child with you. Do not leave anyone in a car, even if you're running an errand for 1 minute. It can happen very quickly.
Since 1998, more than 940 children have died after either being left or trapped in a hot car. A majority of those deaths happen because someone forgets a child in a car.
Usually that's because their routine changed. So dad may typically drop off the child, but instead mom was dropping off the child at daycare and she forgot. She just went on to work, closed the car door, and went upstairs to her office.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life program says when it's 75 degrees out, it takes 30 minutes for the inside of a car to hit 104 degrees. But the danger rises with the temperature. At 95 degrees outside, it takes 5 minutes for the inside to reach 102. Dangerous for anyone, especially young children.
Their temperatures can rise about 3 to 5 times faster than adults. In addition, young babies and toddlers, they don't sweat as much, so they can't distribute that heat.
Experts say always check the back seat before locking car doors and have a plan with your child's daycare center.
Make sure that they check in on you if for some reason your child is late or not there that day, and just make sure that nothing happened.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, welcome back. Colors of every shade lighting the Riverwalk last night, all in celebration of Pride Month, the second annual Visit San Antonio Bud Light Pride River Parade. 19 colorful river barges floating down the San Antonio River, each with the unique theme of a Pride icon. We got Elton John, Lady Gaga, and the purpose, promote the city's inclusion and support of the LGBTQ community, living openly with equal rights.
Right now on KSAT.com, movie theaters in San Antonio area are showing free or discounted films this summer. So the Alamo Drafthouse holds kids camp through summer and winter breaks. During the promotion, people of all ages can purchase tickets at San Antonio theaters for just $5.
Oh.
Santikos is playing free movies at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the beginning of August. To see a full list of summer movie deals, try to find this story on Things to Do section of KSAT.com.
And it really is perfect with kids out of school. Go there Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
Take a few hours. Avoid the heat.
Avoid the heat.
All right, we do have some late breaking news into the newsroom. A rollover crash just north of downtown. We're going to give you details right after the break. But for now, time is 6:28, 77 degrees.
So drivers in one community will soon have to pay a fee to drive downtown in their own city. So a look at the program that will be the first of its kind in the U.S.
And a group of children found safe after spending more than a month lost in the Amazon jungle. What they did to stay alive is remarkable.
We're going to start off this half hour with late breaking news just north of downtown. This is a rollover crash at Blanco Road and West Linwood. This is just a block away from Chris Madrid's. To give you a better locator, you can really see the damage there on that truck. Not looking very good. We don't know what the injuries are with this crash. Again, this is near the Beacon Hill area, just south of Hildebrand, in the north side of town. Once we get those updates, our photographer Santiago Esparza is out there and he will give us updates throughout the morning.
All right, but for now, good morning. Welcome back. 6:32 this morning. It is Sunday. It is June 11th. And like we said yesterday, really starting to feel like June. We were pretty lucky for the start of the summer, at least.
I know. So we were spoiled. And now I don't know why I'm so upset over these.
You have been livid.
It's like I
think
knew
once you
this
see the
was
triple
gonna
digits,
happen.
it's
like
just
you see it, you're like, oh, it actually is happening, Sarah.
Yeah, we're going to be in the thick of it here soon. So, you know, we're used to this kind of heat, but it is going to be our first heat wave of the season. So I'd like to remind people to really take care of the pets in addition to yourselves. There's a certain time where you should walk your dogs, and there's a certain time where you shouldn't. But this is also just an excuse for me to show you cute dogs. This is little Dewey here, keeping cool. And then we've got to look at little Miss Maggie there with a beautiful sunset. And that grass looks good, too, because of all the rain we've seen recently. By the way, if you want to send in a picture of your pup, you can scan that QR code right there, and it'll send you to our KSAT Connect feature on our weather app, and you can post a picture of your pup. But if you're planning on walking your dog today, I would say probably do it right now through about noon, because in the afternoon, that's when we're going to have the highest heat, high temperature right near 99 degrees. Once the sun sets, it should be fine to walk them again. But again, remember, walk them on the grass and not the asphalt, and even not the sidewalk. The sidewalk can get pretty hot, too. Not only hot here in San Antonio, but hot all across South Central Texas. Here's a look at your state park forecast. A lot of people might be out and about trying to enjoy, let's say, Government Canyon, but it's going to be near 100 degrees in Government Canyon. And, oh yeah, by the way, we've got that pesky little thing called the heat index. I'll tell you how hot it'll actually feel outside with the humidity coming up in a bit. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. A San Antonio mother has one wish: being reunited with her baby. A unique local recovery home bringing her closer to her son while she recovers from both addiction and domestic violence.
Amelia Wattis tells us how a new expansion to the recovery home is offering more women and children a brighter future.
When he comes, I lay out this blanket and I have a whole bag full of diapers and stuff.
Lorna Y's first and only son was conceived during an abusive relationship. That's how CPS became involved. Now she can only see her son Isaiah for 1 hour once a week.
We need to bond. I want him to know that I love him and I would do anything for him. I have like a little shrine to my baby.
Since Isaiah was born, Wise has been at Casa Mia, safe from her abuser, sober, working for Haven for Hope, and saving up for her own car. The only thing missing is her miracle baby.
I want my son to say that I'm his hero. So that's how I lead my life, is such that he would, be proud of me.
Casa Mia is one of the nation's few substance use recovery homes that allows mothers to recover with their babies by their side. UT Health San Antonio is helping Casa Mia add a new women's wellness campus nearby. That will include an on-site clinic, fully staffed nursery, and childcare center.
This place was a godsend. Yes, look at this. Because he's a Cowboys fan, okay? So look, it's a little Cowboys jersey, which in itself is cute, right? But he's the player. It's his name.
Isaiah's crib, clothes, and diapers are all waiting for him next to her bed. She hopes her new environment and new support system will satisfy the judge.
Yes, I'm ready. I've been ready.
Amelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Now to an incredible story of survival in Colombia. We first told you about this yesterday. 4 children found alive after 40 days deep in the Amazon jungle. We now have new details. These pictures showing the 4 siblings in the wilderness 40 days after a plane crash. The siblings, which include an 11-month-old, they survived on fruit and flour. In order to find the children, rescue teams turned to clues like footprints, even half-eaten fruit. Officials say because the siblings are from the Amazon, the oldest sibling had some knowledge of how to survive in the landscape. ABC News reporting a close source says they're weak, but overall, it is a happy ending to the story. They are okay.
Incredible story. Okay, for the first time, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky confirming the long-awaited counteroffensive against Russian forces is beginning. So Russian military forces released this video, which appears to show explosive attack drones near the city of Bakhmut. in the southern part of the country. An environmental disaster played out after explosions ruptured nearby dam. President Putin now says Russia will move tactical nuclear explosions into Belarus early next month, just ahead of a key NATO summit.
Pope Francis missing today's customary public blessing to heal after having abdominal surgery earlier this week. His surgeon says an extra physical exertion could be risky at this point. That even includes just walking to the podium to give a speech. His surgeon adds, quote, in the next few days, if he's not careful, he'll be back in the operating room, end quote. Now, Francis will recite the traditional Sunday noon prayer privately in his hospital room, and people are encouraged to join in on the prayer.
A new program that will charge vehicles entering New York's lower Manhattan is moving forward. So it's a toll commonly called congestion pricing and will be the first program of its kind in the United States. The program still needs federal government approval, but that is expected to happen. It is set to go into effect next spring after being delayed for years. The rates of the tolls haven't been finalized yet. 700,000 vehicles a day create traffic all over lower Manhattan, making it one of the busiest areas in the world.
All right, WNBA star Brittany Griner harassed yesterday at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport while traveling with her teammates to a game. A close source says Griner was approached by a man who describes himself as a social media troublemaker. Law enforcement got involved, tackled the man after he started yelling about the merchant of death, the Russian arms dealer, Victor Bout. Now, the WNBA says it is committed to the highest standards of security for their players. Griner's agent called for enhanced security measures for all players. Back here at home, Port San Antonio has grown exponentially over the last 5 years, and there is even more on the horizon. That is why today on Leading SA at 8 a.m., Jim Perschbach, President and CEO of Port SA, set to join us live. We're going to be talking about the Boeing Center, jobs, technology, things being made right here in San Antonio and the future of our community. If you have any questions, you can submit them right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Then join us at 8 a.m. for that full conversation. Time now, just about 6:39, 77 degrees.
We're not the only ones who need some pool time this summer. Check this out. A baby deer went for a dip in a swimming pool, only to find out it's not as easy as it looks. How a family rescued it not just once, but twice.
And NBA Finals, they're winding down. The Nuggets vying to reach a milestone. So far, only the San Antonio Spurs have reached that milestone. We're going to explain in just a bit.
77 degrees. Don't be fooled by it being in the 70s.
Ugh.
That humidity,
It's real.
it's real. It's searing heat. Sarah Spivey will have our forecast when we come back. Welcome back. A baby deer on Long Island accidentally went for a dip in a swimming pool and then needed to be pulled out.
CNN's Ginny Mose has the story with legs, well, wobbling ones anyway.
Move over, Bambi. There's a new baby deer to fawn over.
Yo, I hope she don't fall in the pool. I'm gonna have to go get her.
To the rescue, 12-year-old Anthony Masitis.
I was actually gonna think of jumping in because I thought she was gonna go into the deep end.
But a heroic plunge wasn't necessary for this Long Island animal lover.
But when you get her out, just let her go because the mother's not gonna be happy. Go ahead.
She fell in not just once, but twice. Anthony fished her out again.
She was shivering.
A newborn with legs so wobbly they refused to hold her up.
She could swim better than she could walk.
She kept making noises as if calling Mom.
She was kind of like a meh.
Let's get away from her. Let the mother come take care of her.
Online posters got a kick out of Greg's New York accent.
Because she's looking for the mother.
Did the mother ever show up?
The mother, yes, the mother did show up, yes.
Mother and Fawn reunited a couple of hours later. Posters kept saying it's like Tony Soprano and his ducks, a comparison Greg found funny. Tony in his bathrobe, in his pool with the ducks.
Look, they're trying to fly.
And when they actually did fly away...
Do you feel depressed? Since the ducks left.
Tony had an anxiety attack and collapsed. Neither one of you had anxiety attacks, right?
No.
The only anxious one here was the one without a leg to stand on. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
I'm so glad that the mother was able to find the fawn there. Because, yeah, again, remember, if you come across a fawn, it is fawn season. Let it be, unless it falls into the
if
pool.
you see I see so many people feeding the deer on one of the trails near my house. I'm like, don't do this.
I know.
Like, I know, like, you want to, but don't. They're wild animals.
And we're encroaching on their territories.
Yes.
All right, that's Ecological Corner.
There you go. I like that.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for the day. Here's a look at the weather setup. You can see across Texas that it is really quiet, and the reason for that is high pressure is moving in place. That high pressure system, man, it is our enemy this time of year. It makes things hot. It makes things dry. The low is out across areas pushing into the Midwest there right now, bringing a lot of rain out there. But in its wake, there's that big blue bully, that high pressure system, clockwise movement around that high, creating sinking air, preventing showers and storms from developing, and it is going to make it very hot. Take a look at the futurecast. As that high builds overhead, it's going to really send all rain away from us here in San Antonio. In fact, here's a look at the rainfall potential over the next 7 days. Big old hole over south central Texas. A lot of rainfall for the Mississippi River area and points east, but it is going to be dry as a bone here in San Antonio. So even though we had good May, a good start to June with rainfall, we are really starting to enter into a weather pattern where it's going to be characterized by dry weather and, yes, heat. Here's a look at the high temperature forecast over the next several days as that heat high settles over. We will probably see our first triple-digit day officially at San Antonio National Airport by Tuesday and Wednesday of this upcoming week. And, oh, yeah, we've got high humidity, too. Here's a look at that heat index, potentially feeling up to 100, 105 to 110 degrees by the end of the week. It is going to be brutally hot, and we are used to this kind of heat here in south central Texas. But every year, right before the first heat wave, our body's got to get used to it. So just please remember, find some shade when you can, stay hydrated, and use that sunscreen as well. 78 degrees outside. You can see we've got some morning clouds. Take advantage of the clouds right now before we start to see total sunshine today and warm up. It's 78 in Del Rio, 80 already in Cotulla, already 81 in Laredo, 78 in Kerrville, 77 in New Braunfels, and 73 in Gonzales. Here's a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Some clouds out there right now, but even by 10, we're going to start to see those skies clear. 82 by 10. We'll have south winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour today. At noon, we'll be at 90, sunny skies in the afternoon, and 99. We're going to be on 100-degree watch today. If we can technically make it to 100, we'll have to wait and see. All right, here's a look at the forecast highs in your neighborhoods. It'll probably get to 100 in Floresville, Nixon, Smiley, 101 in Devine, 100 in Hondo, 100 in Los Maples area, 101 in Uvalde, 95 though in Bernie and Bulverde. Not too bad up in Bernie and Bulverde, but again, it's still going to be hot just about everywhere you look. And again, the heat index feeling up to 105 at the airport. Even though it'll only be 95 in Bernie and Bulverde, it'll feel like 100. Feeling like 106 in Hondo, 104 in Seguin, 107 in Floresville, and 100 up in Kerrville, feeling like 107 in Gonzales. And again, we are stuck in this weather pattern of heat and humidity. So please remember to take care of yourselves, make sure to take care of your pets, and check on those without air conditioning. Check on the elderly and those who have a harder time cooling down this time of year. That's a good thing to keep in mind as we enter this long stretch of triple-digit weather.
I know we joke about it, and we say go to the movies. It is really important to be safe out there.
Absolutely. If you can, stay inside. And the thing is, try to set your thermostat. If you want to save money, try to set it to 78 degrees during the afternoon. I know that's a little difficult to do, but it does save you some money in the long run.
Smart.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sarah. Just about 6:50, 77 degrees.
Before he can even think about making San Antonio his new home, Max.
Just watch him in the handshake line and just how he towers over everyone. All right, so Wemby trying to wrap things up with the LNB Pro-Am Finals, why Coach Pop decided to stay away and is not there to see the star player on the court.
Taking a look out.
Double your height.
Triple my height. Okay, taking a look outside with the roads on the highways. things look good. We did have some late breaking news about a rollover crash on the north side of town off Blanco Road, just down the street from Chris Madrid's. We'll bring you the latest on that and if anything pops up on the roads.
Good morning and welcome, man. All right, so I don't want to disparage him before he even puts on a Spurs jersey, but I will say he didn't play his best game. Still, though, he is in the LMB Pro A Finals with his team against Monaco in France. Take a look at the highlights. All right. He started with a great block. He was 3 of 8. He finished with 8.7 boards, 2 blocks, 2 assists, only 26 minutes. His team lost. They lost pretty big, actually, by 23 points. They're only down 0-1. It's a best-of-5 series. So here's a peek with a suggestion so Wemby can have a better game, too.
They need to find a way to use him more offensively sooner, I think, in the shot clock instead of waiting, pass it to the wing, have him cut the lane, and have him do something in the middle. They need to get him more involved and more touches earlier on.
All right, so game 2 of the best-of-5 series tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 p.m. San Antonio time. By the way, Peak told us her source says Spurs head coach Greg Popovich not in France watching the series. He stayed away, obviously did not want to distract Wemby. Remember, not yet a Spur. But speaking of the Spurs have been the only ABA team to win an NBA title since the merger decades ago. But the Denver Nuggets might soon join them. The Nuggets have looked solid in the finals, but closing out a team is the hardest part of any series. We know that firsthand as Spurs fans. The Heat have been the underdog in the playoffs. They were only the 8th seed in the East, so their backs have really been up against the wall since April. Now, Miami just wants to get this series back in South Florida, although it didn't help in the last 2 games. The Nuggets, though, they sound pretty focused on going into Game 5.
We know we're going to have to go home and turn off the TV, the radio, don't read the papers, don't listen to everybody telling you how great you are, because we haven't done a damn thing yet. We have to win another game to be world champions.
Just ready to win the championship. We have the tools to do it. It's been on our minds for a while, so we're just locked in. I don't think you got to overthink it. We're just dialed in, ready to win.
You know, we have an incredibly competitive group. We've done everything the hard way, and that's the way it's going to have to be done right now again. And all we're going to focus on is getting this thing back to the 305.
All right, both teams got the weekend off. Series shifts back to Denver. Game 5 tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. live right here on KSAT 12. And I want to go back to the Wemby final in France.
Let's.
I have a hot take. Okay. I don't think the announcers there do the game justice. They were so monotone and they weren't screaming. I was like, this is a finals and you guys aren't excited.
Basketball?
I'm more excited talking about the election.
Yeah, I know.
Time now 6:55, 77 degrees.
This is coming up on GMA.
Good Sunday morning to you. Coming up here on GMA, voters weighing in on former President Trump since his indictments. Our new ABC News poll showing his favorability as preparations are underway for Trump's arrest and arrival in court this week. And what officials are saying about the fallout amid his decision to continue his campaign for re-election. Plus, what we know about the reports of an American arrested in Russia, the allegations against him, and what his family is saying this morning. And we're diving into all the action from a jam-packed championship Saturday. A look at the Belmont Stakes history, the race for the Stanley Cup, and who's celebrating the Champions League title, making history on the soccer field. That's all ahead here on GMA. Don't miss it.
We've got some clouds out there right now. It's 78 degrees outside, but those clouds are going to go away quickly, and it's going to quickly get very hot. In fact, by noon, we'll already see clearing skies. We'll already see mostly clear skies, sorry about that, 90 degrees around noon, and then 99 for the high. Heat index today is going to be up to about 105, southeast winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour, and the heat doesn't stop there. In fact, it increases in the coming days. We'll be at 103 by Friday, guys.
In my mind, I'm living in the early May, the May.
When we had rain and it was 80 degrees. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. We're going to take an hour-long break for GMA. We'll see you back here at 8 a.m.
Y'all at 8.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All right, we are starting off with a live look out at the Alamo City. 78 degrees out there, but it really doesn't tell the whole story. It is humid, to say the least, and it's only going to get warmer. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey for your full forecast in just a few moments. For now, 8 o'clock this Sunday. It is June 11th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. So yesterday you hid from the heat. You saw the movies.
Yeah.
What'd you see?
Little Mermaid.
Okay, what are we giving it, 1 to 10?
I don't know. The Little Mermaid was my Disney movie as a child. So it's really hard to match that.
All right, as we avoid answering the question, giving a number, Sarah Spivey, what is the number for the temps today?
Okay, we'll be near 100 degrees today. So, yeah, I'm giving the weather out of 100, a 99. But that's the temperature, not actually how the day is going to be outside. Take a look out there right now. We got some clouds this morning. Soak up the clouds while you can because the sun's going to be out here soon and it's going to warm up. 79 at the airport, 78 at Kelly, and 77 at GMSA Randolph. You can see the winds are a little breezy from the south at about 10 to 15. And today, a lot of people may try to spend the day by the pool. It is going to be a good day to be poolside, but it will be hot. 90 by noon, sunny, and 99 for the afternoon high. Here's the kicker, though. It's going to feel like 102 to 107 today, so a very high heat index value. And in the UV index is going to be extreme today, so that means skin damage time within 10 minutes or less. You know, we're about to enter into a stretch here, our first heat wave of the season, and even though we're used to the heat here in South Central Texas, this is our first one of the season, so it does take a little while for us to get used to it. Remember to put on the sunscreen and try to enjoy some time outside in the shade if you have that opportunity. All right, coming up in the forecast, how hot will we be not only in San Antonio but all of South Central Texas, and for how long? Details coming up. Max.
Thank you, Sarah. None of that late breaking news we first told you about at 6 a.m. A man in the hospital right now after a crash just north of downtown. Take a look. This was the scene from just a couple hours ago. Look at that vehicle. San Antonio police say the driver headed southbound on Blanco Road and West Wynwood. He lost control of his vehicle, crashed into a wall. The vehicle rolled over. The driver had to be pulled out by San Antonio firefighters. He was taken to the hospital. At last check, we're being told life-threatening injuries. We're going to continue to follow this story on air and online. In the preliminary investigation, we are being told no signs of intoxication, but make sure to stay with us on KSAT.com.
City runoff election is wrapped up. Districts 1 and 7 have new council members. For District 1, challenger Sue Kerr bested incumbent Mario Bravo. In District 7, 2 newcomers went head-to-head with Marina Alderete Gavito walking away with the victory over Dan Rossiter. Now that the election is done, both women say the real work is just beginning in their districts.
There are so many places in District 1 right now where it's a mess, and I've heard that loudly and clearly. So one of my first hires is going to be solely directed just to addressing infrastructure.
We're going to be focusing on accountability and transparency. We really want a city government that works for them, for the residents. We want to know the status of projects going on in our community. We want infrastructure updates on our streets and drainage.
So Bravo sent over a statement about Saturday's loss that read in part, quote, "I called Councilman-elect Dr. Sue Kerr to offer my congratulations and let her know that I stand ready to assist her in this transition," end quote.
Well, San Antonio police asking for your help trying to find a suspect in a murder that happened last Wednesday on West Laurel Street. Police even releasing the video of the crime. The victim, 35-year-old Eloy Hernandez. He's the one in the red shirt. He's arguing with another man right in the middle of the street. Police say the other person was armed with a small handgun, shot Hernandez one time. Now, the victim was taken to University Hospital. That's where he later died. Police asking for anyone who knows any information about the suspect or the crime, call Crime Stoppers. That number on the bottom of your screen right now, 210-224-7867.
One man is in the hospital this morning after a shooting at a strip mall in the city's northwest side. San Antonio police say 2 men got into an argument yesterday at the Exchange Plaza Shopping Center on Northwest Loop 410 near Warsbach Road. Witnesses told police shots were fired. The suspect took off on a black and white motorcycle. The victim was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the chest and in the leg. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police are still looking for the shooter.
Port San Antonio has grown exponentially over the last 5 or so years, and there is even more on the horizon.
Joining us in today's Leading SA segment is President and CEO of Port San Antonio, Jim Pershak. Pershbach, good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, Jim. Thank you for joining us bright and early. So, let's start with the last year or so. What has growth at the port looked like?
Well, it's been a tremendous year. We're on track to add about 2,000 jobs with customers ranging in everything from aerospace to engine work to information security.
Now, aside from businesses and big events, has the number of visitors grown as well?
It sure has. We've had an exponential growth, as Max said, in the number of students that have come here. But with the concerts, with the sporting events, what we've seen is a lot of people coming down who never would have been in the Port San Antonio area before.
I want to hone in on that, and we're going to talk about the investment in education and whatnot. What about students? I mean, for me, 31 years old, but SAMSAT is always so amazing every time I go. What has that looked like bringing in more students from around our area?
Well, it's been great. 150,000 kids have come through SAMSAT and the programs over there. And with the investment from Boeing through the Kelly Heritage Foundation, we're going to have 5 flight simulators in there. We've got the robots. And most important, it's a chance for kids to come in and be hands-on with the opportunities. We're going to have about $500,000 in investments directly into educational programs with SAMSAT, D. Howard Foundation, WEX Foundation. And this is a great opportunity for kids to go hand in glove with the people who are doing this work.
And there's always so much going on over there. So what are some of the big projects our viewers should know about?
Well, as you know, we've got 2 major construction projects that we hope to be launching very soon, the vertiport and the consolidated airport facilities, and the big office tower that we've already sent the preliminary drawings out. And we're hoping to have a tremendous number of local businesses be part of helping us put that together.
I appreciate how humble and casual you were just throwing out the word vertiport. But for people who don't know what that is, can you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. It is essentially giant electric aircraft that people and cargo can get inside. These are going to revolutionize transportation, not just in San Antonio, but around the world. At some point in time, I don't know whether it's 10 years or 20 years, people are just going to get on their phone, order up an air taxi. It's going to be right there, and it's going to take them wherever they want to go. And this is the type of work that is being developed right here in San Antonio. It's not just the aircraft technology, it's the signals technology, the IT technology, and the radar technology and artificial intelligence that allows these craft to operate close to each other and close to buildings. So it's going to be a revolution, and it's right here in San Antonio.
That is amazing. So there's been a big investment in developing San Antonio's tech talent. So what does that investment look like, and what is the goal?
The goal is to showcase the opportunities that exist here in San Antonio. And then once you show people the opportunity exists, to help open the door. So we're very proud of the Kelly Heritage Foundation. It's a nonprofit. Boeing has given it a $2.5 million push this year. But it is funding a number of those programs. So the young people and not so young people see something they want to do. We have a vehicle now that can help pay for those programs and help connect these kids and not kids with opportunities that'll launch them for careers for decades to come.
And you mentioned Boeing. Obviously, the Boeing Center at Techport has been a hit. We've seen the concerts, we've seen the events, we've seen the competitions. What are some of the big events on the horizon that people should know about?
Well, we've got a number of concerts. The Dropkick Murphys are going to be here pretty soon. We've got some MMA coming in. But what really excites us are the opportunities to use that venue to create opportunities locally. A couple weeks ago, we had 100 young people come in from throughout the community. They built their own gaming machine, their own high-end PC, and they did that with support of everybody from the 16th Air Force and uniformed service members to folks from throughout this campus, to some of the people who design and build computers worldwide. It was twitched out around the world. And this is what we built the building for. You come in, and we get a lot of comments about how our food and beverage is a little bit more expensive, but we make no profit off of that center. All the profits we generate from those shows, from those concerts, from the athletic events, go straight into the Kelly Heritage Foundation, and that allows us to continue to invest back into the community.
Last question for you, Jim. There's a lot of people that still say Port SA is the hidden gem of San Antonio. For people who are watching now, it's the summertime, kids are out of school, who haven't been to Port SA, what is your message to them?
Message is, come on down. It's amazing that we keep hearing that it's a hidden gem here in San Antonio. I spent the past couple weeks on a tour around the country, doing work, participating in seminars. And there are a lot of people who know about what's going on in San Antonio, know about the work going on here. So if you got somebody or if you yourself are interested, come on down, spend some time in SEMSAT, spend some time in the gaming center, watch a show. It's a cool place to be when it's 99 degrees outside.
Well, Jim Perschbach, President and CEO of Port San Antonio, thank you so much, sir, for making time for us this morning. And for our viewers, you can watch this full interview later on KSAT.com this morning.
All right, time now, 8:10, 78 degrees.
Next, how a local recovery home is giving one San Antonio mother a chance to heal with her son by her side.
And as Sarah and Jim said, could be top of the 90s today. We're going to check in with Sarah for your full forecast. Well, we can see those literal triple digits in just a bit.
A local recovery home is bringing one San Antonio mother closer to being reunited with her baby.
And it's all while the mother recovers from addiction and a previous abusive relationship. Casa Mia is one of the nation's few substance use recovery homes that allows mothers to recover with their babies by their side.
So Lorna West sees her son Isaiah for 1 hour once a week. Since Isaiah was born, West has been at Casa Mia, safe from her abuser, and now she is sober, working for Haven for Hope and saving up for her own car.
This place was a godsend. I'm ready. I've been ready.
UT Health San Antonio helping the recovery home at a new women's wellness campus nearby that's going to include an on-site clinic, fully staffed nursery and child care center, expected to open up in early 2024. You can check out this whole story and Lorna's story right now on KSAT.com. Also on KSAT.com, we have everything you need to know about the weather. It's only 78 now, but close to 100 today?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we actually get to 100. Right now I'm forecasting 99, but it's all semantics at this point. It's going to feel hot no matter what.
It doesn't matter. It's going to feel hot.
It is going to be hot. And in fact, you know, there is a heat advisory for some of the KSAT 12 viewing area, all these counties that you see here in orange. But either way, it's going to be hot regardless. Here's a look at the forecast heat index. It's going to feel like 112 in Cotulla and in Laredo, feeling like 110 in Carrizo Springs, 107 in Kennedy, feeling like 108 in Del Rio, but even in San Antonio, you know, it's going to feel like 105 this afternoon during the peak heating of the day, 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m. tonight. So keep that in mind. These clouds right now keeping things in check at the moment, but those clouds are going to dissipate very soon. 79 degrees at the airport, winds are from the south at about 10 miles per hour. It's already 80 in Divine and in Castroville, 79 in New Braunfels, 77 in Gonzales, 75 in Bandera, 76 in Hondo, and 73 in Boerne. When you look at the dew point, though, this is why we have the heat index value. Dew points are high. Dew points are in the 70s. That is oppressively humid. Every single degree is going to feel hotter than it actually is because of that high humidity. And when you look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, mostly cloudy out there right now, near 80 degrees, but by noon we'll already be 10 degrees up, 90 around noon, mostly sunny around noon too, and then completely sunny this afternoon. Here's that peak heat of the day, 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m., 99 degrees. No chance for rain today. Unlike yesterday when we might have gotten a stray shower, that is not going to be the case today. Here's a look at highs in your neighborhoods. It'll be 104 in Del Rio, 104 in Carrizo Springs, 105 in Cotulla, 100 in Hondo, 98 in Kerrville, 98 in Canyon Lake, probably going to reach 100 in Pleasanton and in Floresville and even in Castroville, 99 in New Braunfels, and 98 Seguin. But watch your screen. This is what it's going to feel like, 105 out there. Here's a look at your weather setup across San Antonio and across Texas. It is quiet right now, but this low pressure system bringing some rain at least to areas across the Mississippi. That's on its way out, and in its wake, we're going to be seeing the heat high. This is the reason why it is so hot, is because this heat high is going to be building over Texas in the coming days, and it's going to be keeping out the rain. You can see on the futurecast here that that high pressure system, which creates sinking air, keeps all of the rain north of Texas and out of San Antonio, unfortunately, and then we'll just be left with the heat. Here's a look at that heat building, and this is what it looks like for the next several days in San Antonio. 99 today, 99 tomorrow. We're probably officially going to see our first one 100-degree day by Tuesday and Wednesday of this upcoming week. We'll be about 8 degrees warmer than average. Again, it was only a matter of time. We were dealing with some rain at the beginning of the month, but now with no rain in the forecast, nothing's going to keep those temperatures from soaring. Again, feeling like 102 to 107 in the forecast over the coming days. And then even when the humidity starts to let up by Thursday and Friday, it's still going to be somewhat humid, just not as humid as it is today. And by then, temperatures are already going to be well into the triple digits. So it is that time of year where we're just roasting.
You know, it smells like summer in the studio.
What does that mean?
Well, I just looked at Max and I go, you smell like sunscreen. He goes, it's SPF 50.
Yeah.
Way to go, Max.
We don't mess around here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
it smells like summer camp in the studio.
Yeah, hey,
fantastic.
So don't forget to take care of yourself, yes, but also your pets. So coming up, I've got to look at Fido's forecast with some of your pictures of your pets too.
Love it.
Thank you, Sarah.
There's still time. Send in the pet pics. Time now, 8:19, 79 degrees.
After the break, looking ahead at some events going on this summer, including a chance to meet mermaids.
Let's take a look at those lotto numbers. Pick 3, 656, Fireball 7. And here we go, Daily 4, 6464, Fireball 2.
Cash 5, 6, 12, 23, 29, 30. Texas Lotto 3, 12, 15, 17, 36, 37. Powerball over 200 million here, almost close to 300 million. 21, 32, 42, 46, 50. Powerball 4, Power Play 3. Good luck. The weather, like Sarah Spivey just said, is heating up, and there are a ton of splash pads around San Antonio, perfect for the whole family to cool down. Some splash pad locations include Benavides Park and Lincoln Park. Both are open daily from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. and are free to the public. And the splash pad at Hemisphere, it's my favorite one, is open from 5 a.m. I'm like, can we get splash pad for adults? The one at Hemisphere is amazing. It's open daily from 5 a.m. to midnight for night owls.
Wow.
And it's so funny. I ran into Courtney Friedman at the Pearl with her daughter, and she's like, we can only come to the Pearl now in like swim gear because their daughter wants to use a Pearl splash pad. So if you look, just look for this article on our website for more of those locations.
And Sarah Kosi, you just saw The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Don't sound too excited. Do you ever want to meet a mermaid and be part of their world? No. Okay. Well, if you do, if you're not like Sarah Kosi, you have a chance. Sea Life San Antonio hosting Mermaid Adventures with special weekend performances. There are meet and greet appearances, so many activities, family-friendly event. Limited time, though. The last days to meet Mermaid will be June 16th to the 18th.
And we're less than a month away. There are a lot of 4th of July celebrations that are back this year. So last year, many displays were closed because, remember, we were under extreme drought conditions. And you can thank the rain we've been getting lately, as events are set to take place the weekend before July 4th, including the big firework display at San Antonio's Woodlawn Lake. More on where you can see those firework displays around San Antonio, that can be found at KSAT.com.
All right, time now, 8:25, 79 degrees.
We'll be right back.
Good morning and a happy Sunday. I'm Max Massey.
I'm Sarah Costa. It is Sunday, June 11th. Thank you.
Why would you ruin this for me, Sarah? All right. It's June 11th, Sarah Spivey. Is it going to hit 100 degrees today?
It's going to hit 99.
Okay.
See, once we get to June, and we have these, like, it starts getting super hot, you just forget what day it is.
Yeah. It's because it's copy and paste weather.
Stop it, Max.
All right. Hey, I wanted to start with a look at Fido's forecast. This is Sergio. So cute there. It's such a beautiful bow tie. And then we've got Brew. Gorgeous pictures of your pups. Thanks for sending those in. You can do that through scanning that QR code there. It'll take you to KSAT Connect. As you're walking your dog today, know that the best time to do that will be right now through about noon, because in the afternoon it's going to be too hot for your pup's paws. Temperatures are going to climb to 99 degrees this afternoon for the high. In the evening, even after sunset at 9 p.m., it's still going to be near 90 degrees. And it's not only going to be hot across San Antonio today, but across all of our state parks. That should say Sunday, by the way. Devil's River State Natural Area, 104 degrees. Even Enchanted Rock, 98 for the high. Government Canyon near 99. So all of us are going to be toasty. Coming up, I'll show you what the heat index is going to be in your neighborhood coming up in just a bit. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, San Antonio police officer suspended for 30 days after allegedly sexually harassing a coworker. Police records show Officer Michael Lay served a 30-day suspension without pay on February 7th. Used comp time and bonus days to make up for the missing wages lost. A female officer reported Lay to the police administration for the repeated inappropriate comments he made about her.
A frank and public conversation about the recent staggering number of violent crimes around San Antonio. So Macedonia Baptist Church held its first ever public forum on topics ranging from gun violence to domestic violence yesterday. Officials spoke about the preventative steps that can be taken. Pastor Jerry Daly emphasized the importance of stability inside the home and the ability to reach out for help if something is wrong or unsafe.
If you see something is taking place, not only in your home, but starting in your home, in your community, don't be a silent bystander.
Pastor Daly believes that with prayer, action, and partnership with city officials and programs, safety improvements can be made here in San Antonio.
All right, this is a story we were talking about really through the morning. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department voting unanimously to use eminent domain to seize Fairfield Lake State Park. Texas legislators cited the move to seize the 5,000 acres of property, all in an effort to preserve a state park that's enjoyed by thousands of Texans. They're also keeping it from being turned into a multi-million-dollar home community with a private golf course. The lake, known for some of the biggest bass in Texas. Right now, we have the full story on KSAT.com. You can actually look up on the map where it is, how much is being used, how much economic revenue is generated, and what comes next.
A Texas couple on Quintana Beach discovered a fish kill that wiped out thousands of the goldfish in surrounding waters Friday morning. So Daryl Shope shared this video on Facebook and said the fish were washed up for miles along the shore. Wow, look at your screen. Look at that video. Texas Parks and Wildlife officials say fish kills happen when the oxygen levels in the water runs low after a temperature change. So before this type of event happens, fish can be seen gulping for water near the surface. Parks and Wildlife officials say if you see or suspect a fish kill, to contact them immediately. And the major Republican presidential candidates focusing on the South this weekend, the former president using words like hoax and witch hunt in his first speech since his federal indictment on Espionage Act charges.
All right, so the former Arkansas governor, Asa Hutchinson, he is the only Republican candidate right now to call for former President Donald Trump to end the campaign. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with the latest.
President Donald J. Trump.
This morning, a defiant former President Trump hitting the campaign trail, speaking out publicly for the first time since the Justice Department unsealed its extraordinary indictment, accusing him of mishandling sensitive government secrets.
As far as the joke of an indictment, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing for this country. I mean, the only good thing about it is it's driven my poll numbers way up.
After a 7-month investigation by independent special counsel Jack Smith, the Justice Department's 49-page indictment alleges Trump endeavored to obstruct the FBI and grand jury investigations and conceal his continued retention of classified documents containing information on United States nuclear programs and defense and weapons capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries. Some of those documents allegedly strewn in boxes across Trump's Florida estate, in a bedroom, ballroom, and bathroom.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk.
The indictment uses Trump's own words in 2016 as a presidential candidate against him.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information.
But now Trump and other 2024 GOP presidential contenders are decrying that same American judicial system. In campaign stops this weekend, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence attacking the Justice Department instead of Trump himself. Loyal Trump voters in North Carolina tell us they're undeterred by the former president's litany of legal woes.
Yeah, you see, we coming out. The indicted was still here, right? So we're not going anywhere.
It's not going to hurt him. People who trust him and
in him. This isn't going to change our minds.
That was ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reporting. We are learning more about the father from New Jersey who drowned while trying to save his daughter from rough waters on Jersey Shore on Friday. So a spokesperson for the New York City Fire Department says Mark Batista worked for a firehouse in Brooklyn. He was a 15-year veteran and worked both as an EMT and a firefighter. The spokesperson says the department is heartbroken and called Batista a dedicated public servant.
Terrifying situation for so many families towards the East Coast yesterday. Several Kroger stores in Cincinnati and Kentucky evacuated over reported bomb threats. Police cleared each location as customers and workers waited outside. Police said the threats were false alarms and they believe the threat was part of a nationwide hoax that had been ongoing. Kroger officials still working with law enforcement and calling in the FBI, trying to figure out who would do this and why. Well, back here at home, we know toughest time of the year for the food bank is this summer. The Bethany Missionary Baptist Church partnering with the San Antonio Food Bank to hold a special food drive to reduce the impact of inflation for our local families. Church members gathering to collect and distribute food for those in need. This year, with inflation being high, the extra help was very appreciated. Their goal, helping at least 150 families.
I think what it does, it reinforces community. It reinforces community. When we can see people who are in need, even if we ourselves are doing well, when we take time to meet the needs of others, I think it reinforces the fact that we're all together.
Of course, if you have any questions about the food bank, we have all those answers right now on KSAT.com. In terms of Bethany Missionary Church, they're going to have another volunteer opportunity for you to step up and help out in August.
Kids in the community were able to learn what it takes to serve as firefighters at yesterday's Heroes Camp, so also known as Heroes Like Her. It's an initiative to educate youth about the hard work needed to become a member of emergency services. It hopes to lead kids into future first responder careers.
A lot of them leave here realizing that it is something that they're interested in. I think some of them don't know that they're strong enough, or they don't know that they want to get dirty for their job or whatever it is, and then they realize this is definitely something that they could do.
More than 1,100 kids attended the free camp, and it only took 3 days for all the spots to be filled.
That is awesome. Time now, 8:38, 79 degrees.
Here's what's coming up next.
You guys went from an 89 at the beginning of the year down to a 71. I'm just kind of wondering what happened on this inspection.
Give me 1 second. It was KSAT's Tim Gerber trying to get some answers at an Asian buffet that saw a low score. Dropped 18 points in 4 months. So the violations that earned them a barely passing score. That's right after the break.
All right, let's take a quick live look out of the Alamo City. All right, it's 79 degrees. It feels a lot warmer out there, I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's only gonna get warmer throughout, not only today, really the next few days. We're gonna check in with Sarah Spivey, see when we can see those triple digits.
Sunday morning, Donald Trump, according to sources, now indicted for a second time. What will happen next? And the 2024 race. Pence and Christie are in and launching attacks on both Biden and Trump. How will they respond? Sunday morning on ABC's This Week.
Okay, an inspector found a smorgasbord of health code violations at a Southside Asian buffet. They were hit with 20 violations, Max, including a dead rodent and roaches.
That is disgusting and terrifying. I like Tim Gerber did the story. I like that he used the word smorgasbord. But he went there, got some answers about their nearly failing score, but the manager disappeared behind the kitchen door.
Kin's Cafe, located in the 7800 block of IH-35 South, saw their score drop 18 points in just 4 months, going from an 89 in January all the way down to a barely passing 71 in May. The sushi on the buffet line was too warm. Fly traps with pests stuck to them were found right above the food prep area. There was a dead rodent and roaches stuck to a glue trap in the pantry. Raw chicken was being stored next to cooked chicken. They had numerous plumbing problems that needed to be fixed. Employees weren't wearing hair restraints and the kitchen needed a deep cleaning. The employee bathroom also needed to be cleaned and sanitized. The manager said it wasn't being used, but the inspector wrote it had a foul stench and evidence it was being used. Hello. I had plenty of questions for the business.
I just wanted to follow up because it's been about a month to see if you guys had the re-inspection and to see if you corrected some of the problems like the roaches and rodents and the flies.
This worker said she'd be right back. I waited while other workers recorded us, but the woman never returned.
Coming back? No? Okay. Probably not? All right.
Before leaving, I noticed the business was displaying the wrong score. A re-inspection was ordered. Mi Mexico restaurant in the 3100 block of South Star Zamora got a 73. Chicken and fajitas cooked the day before were improperly cooled. Other foods in cold hold units were too warm. A worker was preparing food without gloves. Tortillas were being stored in grocery-style to-go bags. And the floors were in need of a deep cleaning. A curious worker came out to see why we were there.
We had a low inspection score?
Yeah, 73.
Okay.
So, did you guys, do you know if you made the corrections?
I believe so. We always work on it. Yes, sir.
The business was scheduled for a re-inspection. Culebra Meat Market, located in the 4600 block of South Flores, got an 81. They needed to thoroughly clean the inside of the ice machine as well as display windows and sliding doors. They were using Foca laundry detergent to clean dishes and utensils. Drain pipes were spraying and leaking water. Ceiling tiles above the bakery and meat market were peeling and had exposed insulation that needed to be fixed. A re-inspection was ordered. For BKD, Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, turning to weather, we are seeing a shift in real time.
Yeah, so the phrase I've been using is say goodbye to the rain because the heat high is bullying its way into the forecast. And it's
what a bully.
I know, it's here to stay too. Let's take a look at where that heat high is. As you look across Texas, it's quiet. No real rain to talk about except for when you go up to the north. And here's where that heat high is right now over Mexico. And around this heat high, you've got sinking air, and that's what creates the warming trend and prevents showers and storms from developing. And this heat high is going to be moving over Texas in the coming days here, and that's going to turn off the tap. In fact, here's a look at the potential rainfall over the next 7 days. You can see raining just about everywhere except for around San Antonio, south central Texas. So it's going to be a dry stretch here, at least for the next 7 days. I think potentially the next 7 to 10 days, we're not going to be seeing any rain in San Antonio. And with that comes the heat as well. So as that high moves overhead, the heat is just going to build on itself. In fact, even though we've technically not reached 100 yet in San Antonio, I think we will be doing so by Tuesday and Wednesday of this upcoming week. And then by Friday, we'll be at 103. On top of that, we have got the humidity. And so because of that, it's going to feel anywhere from 102 to 107 in the week ahead. A lot of heat, a lot of humidity. And yes, we're used to this kind of heat here in south central Texas and in San Antonio, but this is the first wave of heat that we'll be dealing with in a while. So we need to allow our bodies a bit of time to adjust to it. So make sure you're hydrated. Otherwise, look outside and you can already see some peaks of sun through those clouds. So these clouds are already breaking up. It's 79 degrees to start the day, but it's already 80 in Pleasanton, 81 in Cotulla, 81 in Laredo. It's 76 in Kerrville, 79 in New Braunfels, and 80 in Gonzales. As you look at the forecast for the day today, again, those clouds quickly dissipating. We'll be at 82 by 10. Around noon, we're going to be at 90 degrees. And then as we head into the afternoon, that's when the heat is really going to crank up. We'll be at 98 at 3, 99 at 4 p.m. So not technically forecasting 100 today, but at this point, it's all a mental game because temperatures, although they may not technically reach 100, it's definitely going to feel a lot like it's 100, 105. Pardon me. 101 in Castroville will be the high out there out west, 95 in Bernie, 100 in Nixon Smiley, 100 in Floresville, 101 in Uvalde. It'll be 98 in Canyon Lake. So we're going to be running some 7 degrees above the average high for this time of year. And then again, the high humidity, 105 in San Antonio is what it's going to feel like. It'll feel like 107 in Floresville, 107 in Nixon Smiley, feeling like 109, up to 110 feel like temperature out near Uvalde and Sabinal this afternoon. And again, all we're going to have over the next several days is that heat. Remember, SAWS customers were still under stage 2 water restrictions. So without the chance for natural watering from the atmosphere in the form of rain, just remember that we are under those stage 2 water restrictions. And yeah, we've yet to get the pollen count in, but as soon as we do, I'll let everybody know, if not on air, online.
I said this earlier.
That's the sound of iced coffee.
Right. I made the official switch, no longer hot coffee in the morning because it's too hot in the morning and too humid.
Also, I want to give a shout out to your thermos because it's still ice after like 4 hours.
That's pretty good.
Morning show. You don't mess around.
No, apparently not.
You know your thermoses.
Sarah Spivey, thank you so much. 8:49, 79 degrees.
If you did not know, there's more than one Independence Day in the United States coming up tomorrow on GMSA. We'll talk about what you might know about Juneteenth. Okay, here is something we rarely see. A lobstering crew caught a bright orange American lobster earlier this month along the southern coast of Maine. So the distinct color is from a genetic mutation. That's what a marine scientist says. The chances of catching one of these is 1 in about 30 million. Just in case you're wondering, the rare lobster is not heading to anyone's dinner plate. Instead, it will live out its days at the University of New England's Marine Science Center.
I'm going to be honest, I really wouldn't have noticed.
It looks like a cooked lobster, that's why.
That's why I was like.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so as Sarah Spivey's been talking about for about a week now, weather's heating up. But good news for all those families out there is there's a ton of splash pads in and around San Antonio, perfect for the whole family to cool down at. Some splash pad locations, Benavides Park, Lincoln Park, both open daily 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. free to the public. Splash pad at Hemisphere open daily 5 a.m. to midnight for the night owls, and of course the one at the Pearl, which is always packed. For all those locations and more, just head to KSAT.com.
And we're less than a month away. There are a lot of 4th of July celebrations that are back this year. You know, last year many displays were closed due to the drought conditions, the severe drought conditions, and you can thank a lot of the rain that we've been getting lately, as the events are set to take place the weekend before 4th of July, including the big firework display at San Antonio's Woodlawn Lake. So more on where you can see those firework displays around San Antonio, just head to KSAT.com.
And as you're looking outside, you can see that the clouds are starting to clear up here around San Antonio. We've had these morning clouds with us to keep the heat at bay, but it's just going to be up from here. It's already 80 degrees at the airport, 80 in New Braunfels, 77 in Lotus, 75 in Bernie. Here's a look at the forecast for the day. It'll be 90 at noon, 99 for the afternoon high, but feeling like 105. Southeast winds at 5 to 15. Cranking up the heat, turning down the rain. No significant rain chance over the next 7 days. Honestly, over the next 7 to 10 days, it's going to be pretty dry as we have our first real heat wave of the season. Temperatures will be climbing into the triple digits by Tuesday and Wednesday. That'll be our first one. Our average first 100-degree day is the end of June, so we're a couple of weeks ahead of schedule. But I don't think we're going to have as many 100-degree days as we had last year. Last year, we had 58 100-degree days, the second most on record. So I don't think we're going to get to 58 100-degree days this year, but who knows what the rest of the summer
Okay,
has
I know
in store.
we had a lot of recent rain. There's not a lot of rain in our future for now, but if we do have rain, you know, maybe in a couple weeks or so, will that maybe bring down the triple digits?
Yeah, usually, because a shower a day keeps 100 away.
Fishing for optimism. I love it.
Let's
live in
try
a
to
different world.
stay optimistic, right?
All right. Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
You'll have a good Sunday.